everybody then. Or
Yes.
I think you should do the welcome.
Okay, well, we have Thomas behind the camera who is welcoming you, but we will also,
voice.
yeah, the ominous, omnipresent voice. But this is Amanda and I'm Fran, and we will welcome you on camera. So we're from mymaastricht.nl, and we're here to give you all the information that you need about the city if you're planning on coming to study here, or if you're deciding on whether you should study here. Yeah. So like I said, I'm Fran, I'm 21 years old, I'm a second year European law student. I'm originally from Argentina, but I grew up in Dubai, and I ended up in the Netherlands. Take it away, Amanda.
Similar story, kind of complicated too. I'm Amanda, I am 24 years old. I just finished my bachelor here in data science and artificial intelligence, and I clearly love it so much that I'm staying to do my master's in artificial intelligence. I'm half Irish, half Zimbabwean, also magically ended up in the Netherlands, in Maastricht, that no one had ever heard about, but I'm glad I came. And yeah, we're going to talk you through some of the important things you need to know. And yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say, if there are things on our faces, it's because we've got a projector sort of
very much into our eyes. So but if we're avoiding eye contact, you know why.
All right, let's go. Yes, okay, so just to give you a quick rundown of what we're going to be looking at today. So this webinar is going to be around 30 to 45 minutes long. It is going to be recorded and placed on our Facebook, so definitely follow us on our social media. It's all at mymaastricht. You can see it here, but it's just mymaastricht on everything. Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter as well. So you can ask your questions through the chat function. Thomas will shout them out at us, and we will either answer them live or wait until the end to address them. We ask you that you don't ask us questions about COVID, stick to more general things about the city, no university related questions either, because we're not experts in that. And also, this is for everyone, no matter where you're from. This information can apply to you even if you're Dutch and you're moving here. It's all useful things. So
yeah. So today we're going to talk about quite a few things, but in general, we'll start with just telling you about the city itself, like what you can do here, why you would pick I'm always doing this because I work at Maastricht. The word Maastricht just doesn't work for me anymore. I've decided it's always going to be Maastricht. So when people ask me, where do you live? I'm like, Maastricht.
Work is
and
life.
It's like, yeah, work is life, so it's a great job. But yeah, we'll tell you all you need to know about the city, and then we'll get into the real core things, the real like adulting topics like housing. There's a lot of information we have on our website. I'll get into that shortly, what's on the website that is. But yeah, we'll get into housing, transport, and just like other bureaucratic things that you need to know. So we'll probably answer your questions in the following slides, but if not, it's also on our website.
And you can always ask them, and Thomas will shout them out if they're relevant.
And then we'll also just go through like some of the tips we can give you about what to prepare before you move to the city. And also if you plan on visiting Maastricht, we'll also tell you some of the cool things to check out.
Yes.
And also finally, how we can help you. This is what we're here for. Fran will give you details in the next slide, but we're basically like your two moms. Unless you're older than us.
It's okay. We can still
young moms. We could be like, you know, your dad got a new wife. She's there. Young. Or your mom got a new wife. Whichever way. But either way, we're like those people. For you. We're going to help you in your life in Maastricht. Yes.
All right. So what is mymaastricht? We keep talking about this. So we're basically your one-stop information platform for everything you need in the city. This could be anything from registering with the municipality, healthcare, opening a bank account, but also things like where to get the best coffee or the best drinks in town. So we're here to answer all of your questions. It's a not-for-profit foundation created by students for students, and we collaborate and are supported by the municipality and the universities, so Maastricht University and Zoe University of Applied Sciences. So yeah, we're legit, and we're here for you, basically. Cool.
So we'll just go over like our website in general.
Yes.
So this is not it. Obviously, there's more, but these are the core things that I just want to like introduce to you already. So We have like the main topics, the 8 main topics, and then everything is organized within those sections. Our 4 main topics include housing, finances, health, and where's the transport? Community is also one of them. So like, let's say in housing, we'll start you off with just how it works, how to find housing in Maastricht, where to find it. And then we'll also cover what to do once you've moved in, like understanding your bills and everything, understanding the garbage system, which is pretty intense, guys. I didn't understand this because in Zimbabwe we just throw out trash outside. Really bad. But there's a system here, it's great. So like we talk you through all this stuff. And even like in finances, just how to open a bank account and things like the DigiD, which is like your one-stop login platform that helps you like organize all your financial things, like
and
applying for subsidies.
Online. Yeah,
it's super useful. So we cover a lot, and yeah, you can see it's all color coordinated, so it's easy to follow, and it's pretty extensive. We try to make sure that we have updated everything.
Yes.
And such.
Usually your questions will be answered somewhere on the website, so definitely check it out. It's a treasure trove of information for you.
Yeah, especially because some things are always like in Dutch on the original website. This is like all in English, pretty coherent, cohesive, everything. Super.
Selfless plug. Selfish plug.
Selfless plug.
All right, so why Maastricht? Why should you come to this amazing city?
Things are just not happening to me, guys. I spent a lot of money. Okay, it wasn't a lot of money. It was 10 euros on this thing that lets me control my laptop, but the buttons are not working so well. I'm upset. It's letting me down.
All right, so first of all, it's a really international environment. So there's 120,000 inhabitants in the city, 20,000 of which are students. And in Maastricht University alone, 50% of the students and 40% of the staff are internationals, and they come from more than 100 different countries. So it's really, really diverse, open community, really welcoming. You know, most people here are not from here.
Yeah.
So, you know,
everyone's so keen to make friends the second they arrive, because they just, everyone's in the same position. They don't know anyone. So
starting from scratch, it's really, it's a great place to settle yourself in easily. You know, it's not hard to come and, you know, establish your life here for the next year or whatever. So really nice.
What's also nice is that it's in the center of Europe. So very, very like, everyone's like the heart of Europe. It literally, like no joke, is in the heart of Europe. So it's in the south of the Netherlands. If you haven't had time to check it out yet, I hope you have at this stage. But it's there. And it's very accessible to all other countries in mainland Europe, either by plane, by train, by bus, cycle if you want.
You can get to Belgium.
Looking at you, Thomas. He likes to cycle. Disclaimer, we don't. I mean, I don't mind it personally, but like, I don't know.
I'll take a train. I'll stick with a train.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's very easy to get around mainland Europe, and also within the Netherlands as well. Like, it's very well connected by train or bus. Don't fly to other cities in the Netherlands.
It's not good for the environment.
But could be possible. Who knows? We've got, like, in terms of coming to Maastricht, you have so many options. We have the very closest one here is airport, that is Maastricht-Aachen Airport. Quite a few flights come in from here from other European countries. But then if you want more options, then we've got Eindhoven, which is an hour away by train. We have Amsterdam, and then you can also pick like Germany. There's some airports that are close by there, and also Belgium. So pretty well like accessible.
And all these airports are also connected to the city by train and bus and all these things. So
it's super great.
It's easy to get here. All right, so the city is very bike friendly. There's dedicated bike lanes that will get you wherever from 10 to 20 minutes. So, I mean, the city isn't massive. So if you're biking 20 minutes to get anywhere, you're in Belgium. Yeah, or you're in Belgium.
But yeah, it's pretty far.
Yeah, it's for our standards. You would usually be biking less than 10 minutes. So that's great. And also public transport is
Very good.
Yeah, it's very good. You can get your OV chip card, which is basically your public transport pass, and just use it for the buses in the city, but also for public transport in the Netherlands in general. And there's plenty of packages and deals that you can buy as well that will just get you discounts on your tickets in general.
Yeah.
So
there's details on the OV chip card on
the
our website under transport, so you can also check that out. But yeah, biking is life for the Dutchies and for people here. So I'd recommend it.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not practicing what I preach, but like because I'm not, I would know for sure why I'd recommend it. So I'd definitely go for it. Okay, and then just the city itself, like the lifestyle that we have here. So like, obviously disclaimer, like I was in Dublin prior to this, and that has a much bigger nightlife. Or like if you're coming from Berlin or London or something like that. Obviously, it's not that, but you'd be like surprised at how much goes on in Maastricht. So we do have a very active nightlife, not currently, but you know, in the golden age. We did, so there's definitely a lot of things to do, like outside, like at the bars, like at night, but also there's a great cultural scene. There's like cinemas, everything. It's super great. Like you never run out of things to do in Maastricht for some reason. Like
also restaurants, cafes, plenty of student like hotspots.
Yeah, it's very tailored to like student life, which is the perk of having such a great student city. Aside from that, you also have things that you can do to get involved more with like the university. So you've got the Sports, which is our sports facility. There's a lot of options
for sports. Yes.
Within Sports, you can get a membership. It's also, I think it works out cheaper than like getting a gym membership, just because of everything you can do there. But also you can check on our website. We have the sports, and we also have a communities page sections. And you can see all the sports that are available, all the details about them, and also the community. So other things that you can get involved in.
Associations, organizations. There's lots of options, honestly.
So many. And we list them all and explain what you're getting into. So definitely check it out.
Maybe we can ask now a question that came in. Is it most recommended to buy a bike? I mean, it's still before towards bike. And are 1 year bike rentals something that is possible?
Yes, and yes. So you can rent out a bike. There's various options that you can go for. We also list them on the website. So if you're definitely one of those people that may not have time to like repair your bike, or you just don't want to buy a bike for 1 year because you're going to move back to your country or somewhere else, then it's very possible to rent a bike. Like
swap feeds is
an option. But you can also buy a bike if you want to then stay in the Netherlands. It's a good investment also.
Even if you're not staying in the Netherlands, if you're here for a year, there is such a huge bike market. You can get all sorts of, like there's a huge price range. You can get a bike for around like 60, 70 euro, a decent bike, and then sell it again when you leave. And yeah, I think it is a worthwhile investment. You can get things like swap feeds, which they charge a monthly amount for you. They will fix your bike, and they will like come to you to fix your bike, which is really useful if you're like me and you have no idea how to like even pump up a tire, to be honest. But yeah,
in the long run, you might be able to find, like on Facebook Market, you can find a cheaper bike.
Yeah,
that works out cheaper than renting out for the whole year. So
yeah, just imagine there's students leaving every year and they want to sell their used bikes, and you can get them for like at very affordable prices.
My first bike was 30 euros. It was stolen after 5 hours, but that was my fault. I didn't know how to use a bike lock. Also, Maastricht is fairly safe. I'll just mention that now. Though, like one major thing that we have here is bike theft. So just make sure you always have really good lock on your bike. Yeah, it's a thing here in the Netherlands. That's like our crime.
All this information though is on the website and more. Even tips on how to choose a bike or where you can choose a bike. Where you can buy a bike.
We would recommend buying a bike, but it depends again which faculty you are and how bike affine you are. If you're living in the city center and you're studying in the city center, you do not have to have it, but there's outside so much to see, which you can way better explore by bike. And it's mostly flat.
It is mostly flat, yes.
Except for the hill that I lived in. The hill, it was like this much above the ground, but it's like the mountain of Maastricht. So that's what you're dealing with.
apart from that, mostly flat,
Yeah.
really easy to get around with bikes. All right, so the city itself, this is another reason in and of itself to actually come here. Maastricht is a tourists flock here, just to see the city. It's really beautiful. There's an amazing historic city center. It like cobblestone streets, old classic Dutch buildings.
It's so beautiful.
It is very beautiful. We have even like Roman ruins and 13th century fortifications, and yeah, I mean you can see it.
Yeah. I mean, it's beautiful.
It is very beautiful.
It's beautiful in the summer. It's also beautiful in the winter. I hate winter. I'm not gonna lie. I grew up in Zimbabwe, obviously, but like it's super beautiful. They really like do up all the Christmas decorations and stuff like that. So
Maastricht during Christmas is amazing. Yeah. So the city itself is a reason to come here.
Definitely. Okay. We're just gonna also give you like some tips. Like maybe you want to visit Maastricht before you come, like before you move here. So we just thought we'd recommend a few places. But obviously you can always like text us or text me and ask like, hey, I'm coming. Like, what are some good places to visit? But these are some that I thought we'd just highlight. So the first is St. Peter. You can kind of see here. This is part of it. This is the fort. Fortification. I love that word, fortification. It's nice. But like, there's more to that than just this. There's a whole like park, field, forest. It's big. It's
Natural
huge.
reserve.
Natural reserve. Yeah, and it's kind of up on the hill. So you get to like look down at the city. You get to watch the beautiful sunset. You can take runs there, walks, meditate, everything. It's super great. Really cute neighborhood as well. Nice cafes. Then we also have Hoogfronte Park. My Dutch.
Very well.
Thank you. Yeah, this is also a really great park. I went to it for the second time this year. First time was my first year, and then I just never got around to it. But it was so beautiful, and it was during like springtime. Really great, and it's like closer to the city center. So like if you're in that part of the neighborhood, definitely check it out. Then we also have Wick, which is one of the close neighborhoods to the station. Really super
Very
cool little streets and town. Very like romantic looking. It's parts of it are by the river, so definitely recommend just taking a walk there. It's super nice. And then other places we have Marina de Basson, which is in that picture over there. It's super nice, very nice at night as well. It's really well lit, and you can see like the basin.
A body of water.
Yeah, I don't know which one it was. So like the basin, because not the river. But yeah, with like super cute boats. I've already like named one of the boats mine. I don't own a boat.
Dreaming big.
That will be my boat. And there's actually 2 cinemas right next door to it. One is like the Lumiere, which is super like cultural, super cool. I like them because they let me take my wine in there.
Okay.
But then there's like the new high tech. They have 4D. They have everything. 4D is so cool. I went to it for the first time this year. Amazing. Anyways, and the Pate, which is also like right next door. So like 2 cinemas, and then you have this view. Definitely worth the visit.
All right, housing, the big one. So the first thing that we want to tell you is that if you are coming here in September, start looking for housing around April. So imagine there's like thousands of students flocking to the city in September to start their studies, and they're all looking for housing. So the earlier you start, the better. You're also going to get the best places for the best prices.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't be one of those people that just ends up taking whatever they can because you started late, because then you can get stuck with housing that's not an ideal location or way more expensive than what you were planning on getting, or just not great.
Because you just didn't have time to check it out properly.
So we have some options for you. Number 1 is Maastricht Housing. This is the official university platform housing agency. You do pay €35 for access, but you are guaranteed authentic, legitimate housing, no scams.
And it's once off.
And it's once off, and you can keep using the website for all your time here. So it's also a way to access the student housing. It's called the guest house, and these are like dorm style rooms. They're spread across the city, so they might be close to your faculty. Probably they're literally placed in ideal locations for you to be able to access your faculty. So I stayed there for my first year. It is really great. They've got plenty of different options. I think their cheapest goes all the way down to $350 a month, which for here is, you know, very
pretty
good.
good. Like on average, anyways, rent will be about 450. You can go up.
400. Yeah, I know people that have gotten all the way down to 300. But you got, again, if you start early, you're going to be more likely to find these things. Maastricht housing is also how you access the official social housing corporation. So these are Maasvallei, Servatius, and Woonpunt, and they're basically catering to students. They're not-for-profit organizations. They have good practices, affordable prices, and they are a really good option for students. You're guaranteed to be living with other students as well, so that's really great. Also, we should mention that if you are planning on applying for any of these, Maastricht Housing operates on a list basis. So the longer you've been signed up to the website, the higher your chances are of getting the social housings, because they're obviously in huge demand because they are so affordable and they have good practices, so you're not going to get scammed. So it might be a good idea, if you already know you're coming here and you are interested in applying for any of them, maybe sign up now even, because that will up your chances of being at the top of the list. Other options are private landlords. So you can access private housing through, for example, Facebook. There's also websites like Horarius. You can find all of them on our website just to see the different options for getting housing. We will warn you though, it is not unheard of that students get scammed, especially when they go through these private agencies.
Just always have your wits about you. Make sure you view the house before, even if you're not here, just make sure you video call, check it out. There's a organization called Her Team, so it's Limburg, and it's from the university, and they are here to help you with your housing questions. So like you can always go to them. We'll list their name again for you.
And their contact details. But yeah, even if, for example, your contract is in Dutch, which is very likely, it's always worth getting it checked because you never know what's in there if you don't speak Dutch. So you can definitely contact the Her Team Zoid Limburg for this. They can help you out. Or if you just get it translated yourself, it is worth it, for example. That's a good tip. So yes, like Amanda said, have your wits about you, especially when you're going through these private landlords and through Facebook. There are other options like Zior. This is also private student housing. It's huge. There are many students that opt for this. It is really great. Again, very student environment setting. They are a little bit on the pricier side, and always be careful to make sure that you know exactly what costs are covered in the price that you're paying, because I have heard of people that are paying $700 a month, for example, and then they got a surprise bill at the end of the year of things like
extra course. Costs, and then just always check that all the costs that they're mentioning are actually legit. Like some of the things are not legal here in the Netherlands, so we list some of the fees that you may be charged that are legal and some that are actually not legal.
Check out the website for sure for this, because admin costs, for example, through agencies, they're not legal. If you are getting charged these, you can again go to the Her Team Zoid Limburg. But yeah, like do your research. Our website is there for that. The Her Team Zoid Limburg website is also there. We'll attach their contact details at the end. You can also check out Student Hotel. I don't know, Amanda stayed there for a little bit.
I did not follow this advice, and I was homeless when I first moved here because I looked too late. So I had to spend some time. I mean, it was really nice. The Student Hotel is super great. Lots of, obviously, it's just students staying there, so great community. They organize things for you, but it is on the pricier side. So like, if your budget is that big, then go ahead. It's pretty centrally located, so like good location. There's also the Stay OK, which is our very own hostel here at Maastricht. They just renovated it, so also stayed there and then everywhere. Part of the job. So you can also check that out. Like if your room is not ready, perhaps for like when you come here, and it will only be ready in a couple of days. That's a good cheap option for like short-term solutions. Yeah, there's plenty more on our website under housing. Yes. Cool.
All right.
Okay. So these are just some of the things just to remind you about, and just to let you know, like, you need to be aware of before you move here. The first is health insurance. you need to make sure that it's valid here. Like, it's a tricky topic in itself. Like, health insurance is just something that's different in every country. So just make sure you understand how it works here, whether you're covered, whether you're not. You can check it out on our website under the health section. But yeah, you can seriously like get a lot of fines if you're not on top of this. So we really always like stress that, make sure you know what's going on there.
But check that your own health insurance covers you if you come here as well. Yeah,
exactly. Next thing would be to register with the municipality. This is a legal requirement. If you are living in the Netherlands, in the city that you're living in, you need to register in Maastricht for more than 3 months.
If you're staying here for more than 3 months, you have to register.
So you need to register. Currently, you can do it online. So you could even register prior to you coming here. You need to have an address here. So you will need your house first. But if you already have it prior to you moving in, then you can do it online. So it's already like you've got the ball rolling. Because it does take a bit of time, especially in September when all these students arrive. There's a bit of a backlog. So it takes a while to get your BSN number, which is like your
socials, your citizen number. So when you come here, you register with the municipality, and the point of this is obviously so they know that you're here, but you also get this number that you can use for plenty of admin stuff. It's really important that you do get it, but like Amanda said, when there's tons of people moving into the city, they're all registering, it might take a little bit of time for you to receive your BSN if you do it at that time. So it might be a good idea to check online. You can also check the requirements. So make sure that you have all the documents that they need in order, because you will have to submit some documents. So for me, when I first came here, I registered. It wasn't possible to do it online at the time, so I actually had to go in person, and they required my birth certificate, but it had to be translated and certified in the country of origin. And obviously, like, I'm from Argentina, but my family lives in Dubai. It was a whole mess to get it back to me. So make sure that you have all of these things in order before coming here. It's really gonna save you a lot of time and stress.
Definitely. And on the topic of saving you time, also we recommend once you have your BSN number from registering, we recommend applying for the DigiD, which is basically like your one-stop login to organizing all of your finances, like for subsidies, for example, and all other bureaucratic stuff within the government. It's just easier to do it online as opposed to calling, staying on hold, and all of that stuff. It just makes your life easier. So we'd recommend doing that. And then the last thing would be just to get to know your neighborhood. Like, we have a map function. It'll look like this icon there on our website, and we basically break down all the great places to go, what's available in Maastricht. It's been curated by students. Like, we've taken all of their like recommendations, put it all there. So it's just, there's a lot of information on things to do, where to go, where to eat, activities. It's all there. So definitely check it out.
Yeah, it's great. You get to know the place you're going to be living in virtually before you even come here. So it's definitely a good idea to check it out.
Yeah.
All right. So also check out mymaastricht.nl. All the information that we've talked about and so much more is all on there. It's designed to be easy to read, easily digestible, and everything that's useful for you as a student should be on there. So definitely make sure that you check us out.
Yeah, so many things. Like, I get a lot of people sending me messages saying like, man, I wish I knew about this, like when I first moved here and such like that. So like, we're telling you this now way in advance. We definitely like recommend that you check it out. Thomas?
Yeah, maybe now we have some time for some additional questions before we get to this.
All right. I'll just put this up so people can write it down.
Fine as well. Yeah. Maybe we start with jobs. Do you recommend getting a job? Is it difficult getting a job? What is your experience?
So, I mean, you guys are master students, so the max you're staying here is 2 years. Most of you will be 1 year, but usually we recommend that you get through your first set of exams before you start looking for a job. This in general is just because like you're moving to a new place, mostly a new country for most people, and things work differently here. You want to make friends, you want to settle in. So we also just want you to like get your studies like down and make sure you survive the first round of exams before you start looking for a job. So that's usually our recommendation, but like, yeah, definitely jobs are easily accessible, like in English as well, because it's such an international city. It's very easy to find a job in English.
Also a job for students. I think there's plenty of places, like it is a student town.
Yeah.
So there's lots of establishments that are willing to hire students and that are actually looking to hire students. You can also get employed through the university. You can check out the vacancy board. This is a great option
Yes.
to finding a position inside the university, which is really cool. But yeah, I think on our website, you can find all the options for finding work. And I think there's definitely lots of opportunities. I would say if you're at master's level, like for bachelors, usually we do, because they do it for 3 years especially, we do say like your first year, don't get a job. It's very intensive. I think you went
at least
like
sit for 6 months for sure.
yes, because
it's been known to be like has been known to have a lot more workload compared to like in Ireland. No offense if anyone's Irish, I'm also Irish, but like we don't do jack squat in university there.
So it is
compared
intense,
to here.
But yeah.
Maybe one more question about housing. So when you start studying in September next year, when do you start looking for housing? And then how early should you move to the Netherlands for your studies?
So start looking, like we said, around April, if you're moving in September. Arriving here, I think it really depends on the things that you need to do before getting here, where you're moving from, and what kind of person you are. So when I first moved here, I think I got here around 2 weeks before university started.
And on average, a lot of people do that because there's usually like income and stuff like that, which is like our
week of introductory activity.
Introductory
activities.
Yeah.
Hosted by the university.
Yeah.
But
2 weeks is usually a good one. Even like I arrived maybe like a few days before because I was working, and would have definitely like it was still fine, but I think like 1 to 2 weeks prior is perfect. You get to know your surroundings so that you're not kind of like trying to know about the city while you're also trying to like navigate about the university as well.
Yeah.
So like
also, for example, if you are going to student housing and it's already furnished, that might require less time to move in than if you are moving to a bare apartment and you have to furnish it, or or even maybe you're planning on coming here and finding housing while you're already here, which is a good option because it means you can really see what you're getting. Which if you're able to do that, it might be a good idea, and then you can obviously stay okay for short term. So I think it really depends on your personal situation, but I would say around 2 weeks is a good average for most people.
Very true. There are some very dedicated questions, but maybe our colleagues from the ISH can also pick them up. One other question that came in was, why did you guys move to Maastricht? And how long have you been living here?
Okay, first. Yeah, so my initial drive towards Maastricht was for the course. So I've been here now 3 years. I just finished my bachelor here in data science and artificial intelligence, and at that point when I was applying it was really niche, so I found it here in Maastricht. I'd never been here. The only city in the Netherlands I'd heard of was Amsterdam and The Hague, like that was it. So like completely unawares, just moved here on a whim. So there wasn't any premeditated thought to like the city itself, but once I got here, loved it. From the second I got here, it was a sunny day. I can remember like this day like very vividly. So yeah, it was about the course, but once I got here, like I'm staying for my master's because I love the city, and I found like I settled in very well here, so I decided to stay.
Yeah, for me it was also, I knew I wanted to study somewhere in Europe because I love Europe in general, and I wanted a course in English in an international environment. And the Netherlands, I found outside of the UK, is one of the few places, because I was looking for a bachelor's. So for master's, I think there's more options in English. But for a bachelor's degree, it's a little bit harder. And the Netherlands had plenty of options. And Maastricht just seemed a little bit more warm and welcoming than a big city like Amsterdam, for example, which is a lot more hard to settle into, I think. And I really appreciated how international it was. And for me, like coming from somewhere that's so different, that was really important. And also the English factor, and also the course, European law, it's not something that's offered in many places. So
like the city is what really sells you. Like I initially was studying in Dublin, Trinity College, and it's like super big university city, but it's so different because here it's so international. You get to meet people from different walks of the earth, so it's Maastricht. Like that's the reason why I stayed and why I moved.
Oh yeah.
to go here.
Wait, so you've been here for 3 years?
Yeah.
I've been here for 2
2 years.
almost.
I'm
And
even
Thomas.
a whopping 8 years, and I still love it. It's a beautiful city. The nature around is amazing. It's very international, very bike friendly.
Mhm.
Yeah, a little bit small sometimes, but for the rest, very, very beautiful and a great environment to study and stay. Another question. Out of personal experience, how was the start coming here? Did you have major problems? Or was it all like going very smoothly? What are your best tips for people who just arrived?
Housing. I did not have a great start to this, but mostly because I applied. Like I said, I was already in university in Ireland, so it was a very last minute move. Hence, I did not look for housing. I think I started looking like 3 weeks before I moved here. And like the week before I moved here, I still didn't have housing. When I moved here, I still did not have housing. I was staying with a friend that just happened to be living here for reasons unknown to me. But eventually he moved after a week of me staying here. So I spent a month moving from Airbnbs, from student hotels, stay-okays. It was really difficult to balance that and studying. So honestly, like housing is like, I can't stress this enough. That is like my top tip. Like get that in order.
Yeah.
Like it'll help you a lot.
It's key.
Other tips would be to get involved with the community. Like I say this as a non-sporty person, but I'm a community type person, so I'm involved in that way. But sports, do not talk to me. We are not friends. We are not lovers. But if it's for you, definitely get involved. You get to meet people around the city. Your experience, I'll let you.
Mine was okay. I did start looking for housing a little bit early on, but I also had I took a gap year when I finished school, so it gave me a lot of time to really think about my options and think about where I wanted to study. So yeah, I was able to look at housing before, and I opted for student housing, which it's furnished already, and you are basically guaranteed to meet people because you are sharing everything with them apart from your room, which was interesting. But yeah, it definitely was a good option to make friends, to meet people, to get a little bit more integrated into the community. I think especially now with coronavirus, where it can be harder to get into, to be involved in the social life of the city, student housing might be a good option. So my experience was overall very positive. For me personally, I would recommend waiting until you get to the city to actually see what you want to get involved with. So maybe also take time to explore the city, walk around. For my first year, because student housing is a little bit further outside of the center, I really did not get involved with the city life because it was like our own little world up there. So I would definitely recommend you walk around the city, explore it. It's very walkable, and yeah, just it's enjoyable to just, now I live in the center and it's just nice to walk around, find a new street. So I would recommend that, definitely.
Nice, yeah, I can only agree. Another question, how easy was it for you making friends?
I have no friends.
So not true, Amanda.
No, I'm joking. You first. I feel like I've just been like jumping in front of you, like, yes, me, it was me. Go ahead, milady.
Oh, well, like I said, I was in the student housing, so yeah, that was, you're kind of forced to socialize there. I was sharing a kitchen with 30 people, so it was really nice. You know, we had like dinners every night for the first month at least, and then university got in the way, and it became a little bit harder to maintain the social life level that we were having up to then. But also that's why it's a good idea maybe to come here a couple weeks beforehand, because that gives you time to settle in, like Amanda said, without having to deal with the stresses of university life.
Or if you do the intro thing, you then meet people from there. So that's a good like launching pad.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's like we said, it's very welcoming. Everyone here is, most people here are from abroad. They're all in the same boat. They all want to make friends.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would say it's
pretty
very
like
okay.
It's very like compared to Trinity, like it was easier to make friends for me here. Also, like the university itself organizes things when you begin like intro days. So my first friends were people from my faculty And of course, as I got to know the city more, if I was more involved, I met more people. So it just comes, but it's
There's
very
also associations,
yeah.
fraternities, sororities, but yeah, in our community section, you can check all of these out. There's a group for everyone, and that's also a great way to make friends and meet people that are interested in the same things as you.
Yeah.
Very true. Another question is on language. Do you need Dutch? Have you maybe learned Dutch? And what is your stance on that?
Okay. My Dutch is very, I worked in a clothing store like throughout my bachelor, so I understand clothes-related Dutch. Like I could talk for hours about clothes, like jeans. Let's talk about this. But no, my Dutch is not to the level. The thing is, here it's such an international atmosphere. It is a bit tricky to learn Dutch unless you actively try. The university does offer Dutch in your first year
For free. Dutch
for free,
lessons, yes.
so definitely take it if you would like to like further your Dutch. But you can get around without Dutch. Like they speak English here. Obviously, like you are in the Netherlands, so don't be upset if they're speaking to you in Dutch or something like that. Definitely like pay that in mind. You're in the Netherlands; it's a Dutch-speaking country, but they do more often than not speak English. Like if you politely say, "Sorry, you speak English," they will be happy to oblige.
I think, my Dutch is non-existent, but I think it's a good idea to learn the basics. Hello, how are you?
Yeah.
Thank you. You're welcome. These things are always welcome. You know, it's nice to greet someone in their own language, especially if you're in their country. But I found that everyone here speaks really good English, even if they're from here.
Yeah.
Of course, the international student community, everyone speaks English. In UM, the classes are usually in English. So
Yeah, so if you're here for a year and you know you're not staying here, you can easily get around without knowing Dutch.
I mean, we don't know Dutch. I know no Dutch.
I know
please,
jeans.
thank you, you're
So,
welcome, and
yeah.
hi.
Nevertheless, and it's true, the Netherlands actually is still as currently surpassed, I think, Denmark or Norway, and being the most proficient country in English. And that's also clear here. But it is appreciated in the shops if you take a language course, and the university offers them in the beginning for free.
Yeah.
But we do understand that depending where you come from, it's a very difficult language to learn. Okay. Yeah, maybe we can say something about this slide.
Yeah, so the slide that has been staring at you for a while is about the Student Services Center. This is like your physical, I say physical because you probably, like, we're not like very overtly.
We're virtual.
Yeah, we're mostly virtual. But the Student Service Center is a whole building and they're there for you. So in terms of things like if you need a visa, the Student Services Center will contact you about that sort of thing. They'll take care of it. Don't worry, like they'll contact you. And then if you want to apply for scholarships, then you can contact them on this email address there. It's also on the university website, like very extensively, like what's available and everything like that. And then, yeah, in general, the SSC is there to answer your academic questions. Like that wouldn't be more us. Like if you're having more uni-related questions, the Student Service Center is like your best bet. Yeah,
they're super nice. You can just send them an email with any questions you have.
Yeah.
They speak Dutch as well, so they can help you with translating documents and things like this. But yeah, definitely don't be shy and approach them. They are super nice.
They're lovely. They sent us a card. And
not happening today.
Come on,
the contraption is not
I
collaborating.
set you up so well. You were family.
All right.
The battery.
Okay. Yeah, so our contact details, so you can send us an email with any questions you have about anything we talked about today and more. Basically, any questions you have about the city that you want to know about, you can send us an email. We'll reply very quickly and with personalize it. So even if it's something like recommendations, what's your favorite cafe? What's your favorite place to get a meal, to get a drink? You know, this is what we're here for. So you can even email us about that stuff. You can also WhatsApp Amanda, actually. She's in charge of the WhatsApp phone. This is the number over there. And special cases, you can refer to the ISH, which is the International Student Help Desk. Also there to help you with things like translating documents or more admin things, but more specific
if it's more
cases.
specific to you, as opposed to like a
Yes.
general question about housing. If it's like specific, then definitely like contact the ISH. Obviously, you're free to contact us. If it's something that we like can only take so far, we'll make sure to find the proper channels to direct you to move
them.
forward.
Yes, and we mentioned also the Her Team Zoe Limburg. This is their beautiful logo over here, and this is their email. So any questions you have related to housing, contracts, practices, whether something is legal or not, rights and obligations that you have as a tenant, you can email them and they will help you out as well.
Yeah, and you can once again follow us on social media. So it's at mymaastricht on everything: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. On YouTube, it's do I say this?
Stichting My Maastricht. And on Twitter, it's actually Maastricht My, but you will find it all,
Yeah.
the links on, also on our website.
Yeah, or anywhere on our website. It's in the top right corner if you're facing it. You're like the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, follow us like on Instagram. We usually do it according to like the yearly calendar of students. So things that are up and coming. So in the beginning, we'll be reminding you to register. We have guidance documents on our website. So we'll remind you like we have step-by-step to avoid this and this fine. If you got this bill, this is how you respond. We have instructional videos on our YouTube. So like check it out. It's there for you. Yeah. That's us in a nutshell. So if you have any more questions, let us know. You can contact us afterwards. Feel free. It's all there. But honestly, like you will not regret coming to Maastricht. Like I say this with like 100% confidence. Okay, maybe 99.9 because you might be like that 1% that just hated it here, but I've never met someone that. So I'm just saying like you won't regret it. It's honestly such a beautiful city, such great people. Great university.
Yeah, we can only recommend it, and we hope to see you here. Thanks, I would say. I think the main questions were all answered. Thanks a lot to you guys.
Thanks, Thomas,
for joining us. Thank you, Thomas,
organizing everything, and thank you guys for joining. We hope to maybe see you or hear from you soon.
Yeah.
Also, thanks to Thomas and Nadia from the International Student Help Desk for answering some questions.
Thank you very much, guys.
And yeah.
Bye. Have a beautiful Saturday. Sun today.
Bye.
Bye.